And Ben Carson, apparently, he's still around, folks. In fact, he hasn't gone away. And which just goes to show you, there were a lot of people like, oh, poor Ben Carson. He got scammed by his own campaign. He probably didn't know. He probably didn't know that he was getting scammed. He probably didn't know that he was a tool. Because poor Ben Carson, he's just a good man who just cares about the country. He doesn't care about his own self-aggrandizement or anything like that. He's just trying to do this for the country. And why is it we would still be talking about Ben Carson? Oh, I know why we're still talking about Ben Carson. Because Ben Carson knows and knew the only way that he would be continued to be talked about. And you remember Rick Perry? No, you don't remember Rick Perry. Did he endorse Donald Trump? No. What about Scott Walker? You remember that guy? No, I don't remember him. Rick Santorum? What? Who's he? But we do still talk about Ben Carson, and it's because he came out so strongly and supported Donald Trump. I wonder why he did that. He must have done it because, not for his own sort of self-enrichment in some way. It must have been because he thinks that he's a principal, because Ben Carson's principled, and he shares Donald Trump's principles. Here's clip number 1.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Now, on your support, I know why you explained why you supported him, why you're supporting him, but it was a 180-degree turnaround for the most part. I mean, he said some nasty things about you. How do you reconcile that?
Pause it. Just for you non-math majors, 180 degrees means a complete about-face. 360 would bring you back to the point where you were. So it doesn't get any worse than 180 degrees. In other words, this is a total flip-flop.
Politics. The politics of personal destruction.
Hold on, back it up a little bit. We lost a little bit here because this is where Ben Carson says the reason why he attacked me was because of the thing that I have said for years is the problem with American politics. And but that just happens passively. It doesn't happen by actually anybody doing it, and that's why I can totally buy into this guy.
I mean, he said some nasty things about you. How do you reconcile that?
Politics. The politics of personal destruction. That's nothing new. I mean, that's been going around for a long period of time. But also, I have to look at what is practical. I didn't see a path for Kasich, who I like, or for Rubio, who I like. As far as Cruz is concerned, I don't think that he's going to be able to draw independents and Democrats unless he has some kind of miraculous change. So I have to look at what is practical and what is going to save this country and the American dream for the next generation.
Do you believe?
Is there another scenario that I would have preferred? Yes, but that scenario isn't available.
Okay.
So in other words, just so that you can understand what he's saying, when he says what is practical, what he's saying is what is best for me. And I do appreciate Ben Carson being so guileless as to not realize that he is admitting that, well, Trump wasn't, my first or second or third or fourth choice, but I've got to associate myself with him because it's going to be good for me. Sam, you're too cynical. How could you assume that Ben Carson would say that it's just about him, even though we just heard him say what is practical? And then he also added, and what will save the country. What is practical means what is best for Ben Carson.